Aloha. First of all, happy Veterans Day to all the veterans and our fellow soldiers that will one day be veterans. Thank you for your service and all you do. My brothers and sisters, I love you. My name is Michael Anthony Ali'iloa Helm. I am also a veteran. I was a 19 kilo, which is a M1A1 tank crewman. I was in the 2nd Armored Division, Hell on Wheels. I was in the Army for 3 years, 1986 to 1989. I am the son of Larry and Barbara Helm. My father, Larry Helm, was a Vietnam draftee. And so I saw, growing up, PTSD firsthand. My dad and fellow veterans, I wanted to just make one thing clear, because there's so much trouble right now on Molokai with our Veterans Center. And my dad, I know, is very unhappy about that, because he started the Molokai Veterans Caring for Veterans Center for that to be the last thing to happen. Veterans divided. My dad was really good at bringing people together. And he definitely had a lot of care for veterans. He spent probably these past 20 years fighting to get services here on a small island like Molokai, which had none when he came back to help out our fellow veterans coming back from war. And the Molokai Veterans Caring for Veterans Center, that is one of its purposes, was to help like our young veterans coming back now from Iraq, Afghan, or with PTSD, if they had PTSD, because he felt that Vietnam veterans that have been getting help now would be a good place for them to come, because they understand what they're going through. And once you had them to come and felt comfortable, then he could send them in the right direction to get the services they need, whether it be a psychiatrist, a doctor, a benefits counselor, home loan counselors, whatever a veteran needed. My dad was going to go, and fellow veterans were going to go above and beyond to make sure they can help them. The vision of the center was, it was a place for a sanctuary, for veterans to come, get help, feel comfortable, fellowship, and that was the vision. At the same time, also bring in counselors to come help. Because I was a young veteran, I wasn't as involved as a lot of the retired veterans, and but I probably was more involved than the average because of my dad. So I did see and was a part of what my dad did, and it was very powerful how he brought veterans together. I think there was like 400 veterans listed as members on the Molokai Veterans Caring for Veterans list. And so my dad ended up having cancer, and he was trying to get a building. They used to work out of a small little office that they called the bunker, and they were working hard to get their own facility. So with battles against the county, the mayor, to get this building done, he fought a good fight, but unfortunately he wasn't able to see the building finished. And so before that, we were able to start a plaque that you can put up on the Veterans Center. We were able to generate $25,000, I think we generated, to try and help before my dad died, and that was awesome. My dad asked a few veterans if they could help get that building done. That he just, as main thing, get that building done, And so there were a few veterans that did get that building finished. The most of it was up already. It was already pretty much the foundation, and everything was built already, but there's a lot of the permits were holding them back. And Uncle Longi Durua stepped up to the plate and got the building finished, which was one of my dad's asked him. And I'm thankful for Uncle Longi for getting that done. So I kind of, I have young kids. I have 5 kids. I have 24-year-old Kiana Marie, 20-year-old Natalia, 14-year-old Solomon, 7-year-old Jarrett, and a 1-year-old La'anui. So I'm a busy guy, full-time job. So I wasn't as involved in the Veteran Center after my dad passed, hoping that the veterans that took over would be continuing the mission and all that. So I don't know, I'm gonna say maybe 2 years went by, and never did, just for so everybody knows, never got a call, never got a letter, never got anything about, and I was a lifetime member, about, hey, we're doing something with the veterans, da-da-da-da-da. So I think I went, about 2 years after Dad passed, and I went to the Veteran Center and told people, hey, I'm a young veteran with a full-time job, a farmer, I have kids, I can't be here all the time. My dad used to call veterans. He would spend about 3 hours in the morning just calling all the members, all the 400 members on that list, and let them know, hey, this is what we're doing, we're getting together. And he found that that was one of the best ways to get a hold of veterans, hearing their voice, them hearing his voice. And I offered to the board, and I'm not going to ever say names about the people that I talked to. And I said, hey, I can't be here all the time. I'm offering to be a phone tree. If you guys give me the list of all the names of the members, and when you have some kind of function for veterans, you guys email me, and I will sit down and call all these people. Since I can't be here all the time, hence I'm not retired, I'm very busy. But this is something I can do to help out the center. I got the total opposite response that I expected. It was, no, sorry, Michael, we can't give you that kind of stuff. That's confidential. That's against federal laws. We can't give you these numbers. Of course, I was like, why? I'm a lifetime member. I'm offering to be a phone tree, and we're we're a private organization. It was set up that way to be private. So that was my first experience coming back to the Veterans Center after my dad died. Didn't make me very happy. Then I started bumping into people saying that they don't go there to the Veterans Center anymore, and for whatever reason is their reason. They're out there. Believe me, I'm not lying. People were coming up to me and telling me this. And then I got firsthand, I witnessed it. I met a gentleman that moved there maybe 3-4 years ago, and he came to the restaurant. I'm a bartender at Paddler's Inn. And he tells me he's a veteran. I go, hey, you should go over there. There's a veteran center over there. Go over and introduce yourself. Say hi. And so he goes. He comes back 10 minutes later. And I go, so how was it? He goes, well, I tell you what, I didn't feel very welcomed. It wasn't very welcoming. And I was like, wow, what the heck is going on? So I go over there. I leave work because it upsetted me. And so I find out, the guys go, well, we were having a meeting. I said, okay, cool, you're having a meeting. But you don't just go when somebody goes, oh, hi, sorry, you got to leave, get out of here. We're having a meeting right now. Why don't you go, hey, come on in, how you doing? Da-da-da-da-da. We're in the middle of a meeting right now. You know what? You're welcome to come back in about 30 minutes, and we can talk story and, at least be nice to the veteran. according to the guy, it didn't happen. And according to many of people, it hasn't happened. So, I decided I'm gonna go the high road. Let me just start planning fundraisers for veterans, and which is what my dad wanted to use the kitchen for. The kitchen was supposed to be a place where the veterans could generate money by selling food, and that's what I planned. So I went to the board and I asked them. I said, "Hey, we want to do a fundraiser for the kit and use the kitchen." They looked at me like, "Oh, well, you got to fill out all the paperwork first, Michael." And I go, "And you got to sign up for and look and see what dates." I said, "I'm doing a fundraiser for the Veterans Center," meaning the money that we make. And I'm not even asking the Veterans Center for money. We're going to use our own money. We're going to buy the supplies. We're going to sell the plates, and all the money goes to the Veterans Center. It was like a foreign concept to them. This is like almost 3 years after Dad has passed. So we did it. We gave the money to them, and veterans came down. I got some veterans involved, and one of the veterans was Uncle George Kahinu, and his brother, Uncle Eric, came down, and they started to have a lot of pride for the center. And so we did 2 more fundraisers for the center, not for us, for the center. All the money goes to the Veterans Center. And we then, Uncle George plans every Saturday for veterans to come down and clean up the Veterans Center, and was doing that for the past year and a half. And they were there every Saturday. Finally, Uncle George got the list of phone numbers from the board. The phone numbers on that list were old, from my dad them's days. 80% of them were either passed veterans that passed away, or phone numbers that don't work. So it told me, you guys didn't even update the membership sheet since my dad passed away. So it almost says like, were you guys even, notifying members what's going on, or did you even have anything going on for members? Because I didn't get a phone call, not until this whole new election came up. Then, holy moly, I got a letter in the mail, and we're only talking a year ago. This has been going on for 3.5 years now. I got a phone call, a letter in the mail, everything, because they have my same address, my same phone number, but they never used it once in the 3 years that they were running the place. 4 years they're running the place. So that brought up some questions. Then this whole new Veteran Center thing started popping up, and to be honest, everybody, we still don't know what's going on. The only thing for me was, one thing that I wanted the board to understand is, when they started seeing that there was veterans that had issues with things, I would think the number one thing for the board should have been, hey, we need to get these veterans back together. We need to find out what's the problem. And the problem was telling members what's going on. Nobody told nobody nothing. They just went and said that, hey, we're going to do this no matter what. And, certain things a board does, small kind, yeah, you don't need to talk to the members. But a $4 million new Veterans Center, that's something I think I would talk to my members about before we go along and make any decisions. And get some input, at least, from the veterans. See what they think about it. Let them hear the whole information, so they can actually do the thinking process. I think the members deserve that. They didn't do that. And so again, this division thing, I'm not going to name names, but it happened. It's happened. Not I don't think on purpose, but it's happened. And like I said, as a board, as soon as you saw it starting to happen, I think your number one priority should be, we need to stop this division and let's get our buddies back together, our brothers and sisters in arms back together. This is what we do. We need to be together. We cannot be divided. That was never the purpose. Never. We've had meetings. People got angry. People started yelling. Hence, the Veterans Center. We got veterans, got anger issues. This is true. Not all veterans have dealt with their demons. And that's what the Veterans Center was supposed to be for. Here, a perfect example. Outside, a guy comes. This past weekend, we had a protest, and just so everybody knows, the protest was, hold on, I'll get to that. So what happens is there's an election. We finally get to the point where, okay, we at least agree to have an election. So we're having the election. We assume everything is all great. Whatever happens after this election, we move on. So we have the election. I get on the board. Uncle John Aki gets on the board along with some other people. Me and Uncle John were pretty much the only guys that were not a part of the group that is at the Veterans Center all the time. So as far as knowing what goes on in the Veterans Center, the other board members, they know, we don't. Comes to find out, after the election, we find out that non-veterans voted. How we found out? Questions were asked about people that were being there. Unfortunately, it got found out. And this is no blame to the people that voted that weren't supposed to vote. They should have been told they cannot vote. But somehow, in some way, they felt like they could vote. And so when the next meeting came up of this board that supposedly got elected, me and Uncle John were there, and we stated that we can't accept this election because there are non-veterans that voted. And in our bylaws, it states you had to be a veteran and had to have a DD 214 to be a member and vote. So through hard times of trying to convince these other guys that we need to have another election, because they were ready to just say, no, we're going to deal with this. We're taking it. We're not having another election no matter what. And that's the truth. But then we finally agreed to have another election. Well, other veterans went and go write letters after this fraudulent election to tell people, to the Attorney General. So now, I think it was a little bit after that meeting, I got contacted by the Attorney General's office by an investigator saying that he's investigating the Molokai veterans caring for veterans. He was going to do a audit, which I'm like, okay, right on. That's good. Because now we have an outside person looking in, and guess what? If nothing is wrong, and this guy comes out with nothing wrong, then yay. Nobody can bitch about nothing. Everything's all good, right? Because we just had the Attorney General come in and do an investigation. So me and Uncle John went to the next meeting, which was like 2 days before the election that was called, of this interim board, and says, we're going to have the election, da-da-da-da-da-da. Me and Uncle John comes out and says he's the one that wrote the letter to the Attorney General, Uncle John Aki. And Uncle John Aki, a very good man, and says that he didn't feel comfortable about being a part of the election because there's an investigation going on. And the same thing with me, I felt the same way. I asked we should postpone the election, wait till this investigation is done to make sure everything is all porno. And once the investigation is over, we can all come together and be again a group of veterans, period. Not this veteran, that veteran, those guys, these guys. I offered this. I said, you know what, guys, why can't we just get the other guys and these guys, and let's all come to the table and look over all the paperwork as a group, as veterans together. And because the other election was a fraud, right now we don't really have a board. So let's just call us veterans coming together for the common cause to make things right. And they turned that down also. So me and Uncle John said, well, then we're going to protest the election because we feel that it should be postponed. Not that we shouldn't have an election, but we should postpone it until the Attorney General is finished with his investigation. And we can know that, hey, it's all clear, nothing was done illegal, or yes, this was done. Either way, we know. And it's all over already. It should be okay. And we can get back to the vision of what the Veterans Center was made for. And this, for me, that's what I want people to know. Why and it's like this. Outside doing our protest, it was a protest of aloha. We didn't yell, scream, but had one guy come walk up to me and Uncle John Aki, and one thing he started going to me is like, "What? You effing ain't even one veteran." Like swearing at me. "You effing ain't even one veteran. You need to get off your dad's nuts. Your dad's days is over already." Well, there you go. Then he approaches Uncle John Aki. He wants to step up to Uncle John Aki, to where there's almost throwing blows. Luckily, it's Uncle John Aki and it's me that he came across that know that this is why we have the Veterans Center, because we have veterans with these anger issues. That's why get the Veterans Center. Because this guy, he didn't even know what's going on. He didn't know that I was a veteran. How come he doesn't know I'm a veteran? I've been involved in the Molokai Veterans, caring for veterans for 12 years now. So for him to say that, I was like, wow, brother, for real. And I'm not going to name names because you know what? In the end, I want to be with this veteran at the Veterans Center, sitting down, talking story, hanging out, playing pool, watching the Super Bowl, things like that, where the Veterans Center was made for us to come and fellowship and hang out. Again, this video is, for me, one that I had to share, and it's, people like to say, oh, your dad, Pa already, your dad's legacy. Pa, enough already, it's time to move on. No, sorry everybody, we'll not move on. I was there when he fought for what he fought for this Veterans Center, and all the fellow veterans, 400 of them. I'm sorry. His name will be mentioned a lot because he is the reason that building is even there, or the Molokai Veterans Caring for Veterans organization is there, along with all the veterans that were with him. And again, my love and aloha to all veterans all over the world. All of you, I love you, my brothers and sisters. And I pray to God that everything comes out okay and we all get back together as veterans. And my aloha and malama pono to everybody.